Hey guys, check it out! You're watching Jonathan Clarke on YouTube! Oh no! It has been the greatest honor of my life to create Descendants and Zombies videos for each and every single one of you. Thank you guys so much for all the love and support you have shown this YouTube channel. It blows my mind with nearly 60,000 channel views having happened for this YouTube channel and nearly 3,000 subscribers. Thank you guys so much for all the love and support you continuously are showing to this YouTube channel as we count you down to the premiere of Descendants 5 Wicked Wonderland. Just think about it like this. This time next year we'll be counting down the hours, the minutes, and literally the seconds until the premiere of Descendants 5 Wicked Wonderland, and I, for one, am incredibly excited about the direction of the plot, because we will see the consequences of time travel from the previous movie, The Rise of Red, which left us with so many unanswered questions revolving around the consequences of time travel, and now what Red and Chloe will face. We know going into the movie in the new chapter of the franchise that Red will have a sister that will present a lot of conflict for the first time ever, and because we have never seen a family quarrel ever in a Descendants franchise before, this is going to open up the door for more unpredictable things to enter the storylines, new storylines to be created off the current storylines for, of course, Pink, who could have the torch passed to her from Red. That would be really cool if we were setting up for a passing of the torch moment, just as we saw from the Zombies franchise. But I think it would be done in a very effective way and a very emotional way, because I think that Red and Chloe have really worked their whole lives to get to this point, because nobody ever thought the Descendants franchise would amount to what it did. I think that going into the original Descendants franchise, nobody ever thought for it to blow up the way that it did, and it definitely exceeded the expectations of every critic out there. And I am prepared to stand in front of every single critic and take bullets for every single person who ever said they were a fan of the Descendants franchise. I honestly mean this, because when I see people like Kylie Cantrell and Malia Baker showing up with so much pride and so much passion putting into their roles as characters such as Red and Chloe, I think that someone deserves to take bullets for these characters, because these characters have really brought it to life in a way that I don't think Mal and Evie ever could have, because they closed the door on their Descendants past. They wanted to leave their Disney past behind them more than anything, and they wanted to move on with their lives. So I think the chances of them ever reprising their roles as the characters for Descendants is pretty much in the dark and going to be left there for quite some time. But as the times change, we too have to change with the times as fans, and I think everybody has done an exceptionally powerful job with doing that, because they've accepted characters like Red and Chloe and they fell in love with them. Their message through the music, the message through the powerful script has been heard, and more people feel inspired now because of the message of The Rise of Red and the whole new spin on the franchise, which I for one love, because it presented a Harry Potter kind of feel. It presented a Wicked kind of vibe with the music, and the flow of the movie from one scene to another made perfect sense. So for the life of me, I don't know why people always devoted time to criticizing the Descendants of the Rise of Red franchise when they should have been saying more good things about it, because Kylie Cantrell has demonstrated that she is so fierce, she is so strong, and she doesn't really care what anybody thinks of her. Just today I saw one of Kylie Cantrell's latest vlogs, which I really appreciated, from the Worlds Collide tour. It showed everything from Kylie Cantrell's morning routine to going to the gym to rehearsal practice for the Worlds Collide tour. It was really incredible seeing Kylie Cantrell, put herself out there in a way that no other star from the Descendants franchise had ever done before. And Kylie Cantrell looks stronger than she ever has before, and I think that deserves a profound amount of credit. If anything, Kylie Cantrell needs to shy away from the criticism. She needs to focus on her career, because she still has a long way to go, and I for one believe that she's just figuring out her place in the world. So too are the other stars of the Descendants franchise, like Ruby Rose Turner and Malia Baker. It really broke my heart last year when Ruby Rose Turner's time with the Descendants franchise came to be very short-lived, because I really felt like the Bridget character had more of a story to be told. She had more of a destiny to be discovered, and I really don't want to close the door on Ruby Rose Turner ever returning to reprise her role, because the song Life is Sweeter When You Are was a beautiful song, and even people that weren't featured on that song still go back and revert to that song for its powerful message of how kindness can really go further in this lifetime than we ever think. I think that Life is Sweeter When We Are was a song that became our favorite song off the Descendants soundtrack, either that one or Red, because Red was a very powerful opening dance number to introduce us to the Queen of Hearts' daughter, Red, who ultimately wanted to become something far greater than our mother ever expected her to amount to. And that really just shows to show you how far a dream can really go. And that's something that I never saw from the opening dance number of Rotten to the Core years ago for Descendants. Yes, we knew Descendants was going to be something special, and it was going to be in the same category as High School Musical and Hannah Montana from years past. But off the Rotten to the Core music video, all the Rotten to the Core music video ever did was introduce us to the characters. songs. It had no message of a dream coming true for anybody or ever happening. But the Rise of Red soundtrack opened up with this powerful dance number called Red, and Red was so fierce and she was so defiant. And I really loved that about that character, because she wanted us to believe that a dream could happen for anybody. And we saw that at the Worlds Collide Tour when she opened up every venue with the statement that dreams can happen for anybody. And I gave Kylie Cantrell a huge shout out for using my quote that I've been saying for 25 years on this show, because I really do believe that no matter what the dream is for somebody, a dream can happen for somebody and can become a realization when you least expect it. And that's something I give Red a profound amount of credit for. She became one of my favorite characters out of any Descendants franchise, and preferably, if I had to choose between the two, probably a lot of people would expect me to choose Dove Cameron's character Mal, but I would have to go with Kylie Cantrell's character Red for just how fierce she was and how she really didn't care what anybody thought of her. Because I got to a point like that in my life too, where, I was always thinking about what people thought of me. I always wanted to better myself, and then eventually I just woke up one day and said I didn't care anymore what people thought of me, because the best person you could represent yourself for being was yourself. And I know a lot of people go through that every year when a new school year starts. They're faced with peer pressure. People are suggesting what you should do and what you should make of yourself, what you should do is in terms of a career path or a choice. But what it comes down to is your choices and how you want your legacy to be defined. The song Legends in the Making from the Zombie soundtrack really put it into perspective of how we all have a legacy that we leave behind long after our time is surpassed. Because we only have so long to live, and how we want to live out our life all depends on the time that we are allocated and how we spend it. Because the thing about time is, time always runs out and it never fails to do so. So what do we do with that time we're allocated? A lot of people will probably go back in time if they were in possession of a pocket watch and try to fix some of the mistakes they made, because we are all far from perfect. People will probably go back in time to spend more time with the people they love, just to tell them they love them one final time. I think that what people don't really understand is there are a lot of consequences with wanting to go back and alter time, and I think that's what we're going to witness the most out of the Descendants 5 Descendants 5 Wicked Wonderland experience, is the whole idea of how we don't really understand the consequences of our actions until we have to go back in time and alter them, and then we are faced with those consequences. So I think a lot of new storylines will be presented with the Descendants 5 Wicked Wonderland story. When you compare it to the Descendants Rise of Red, I think there are more plot twists and turns that are going to be taken. I think there's more of a reason to be excited for Descendants and Zombies fans, because I really think that the Rise of Red was setting us up for something far greater. I know that a story can't be told in 90 minutes, although a lot of critics on YouTube will suggest to you that, this story is completed, it's been told so many times over, and Lord knows we've heard so many stories about Alice in Wonderland over the years, so many different variations and twists and turns put on the plot, from the live action to the TV series years ago. So I think that, after reading the book Alice in Wonderland 100 times over and seeing TV shows and live action movies and adaptations of it, so many different variations of it, we all have our different take on Alice in Wonderland. But I think that fans have taken a greater appreciation away from what Disney has done with the Descendants spin on the Alice in Wonderland characters than ever before, because people showed up by the thousands for the Worlds Collide Tour years ago, and that was amazing how people showed up and supported it in the way that they did. They didn't care what the critics had to say on YouTube, because I would venture to say that everybody that attended the Worlds Collide Tour watched these videos of these critics reviewing it ever before they attended the Worlds Collide Tour, because you have to take into consideration there were 43 arena dates for the Worlds Collide Tour. So going into it, you kind of knew what to expect, but you shied away from the critics. And I give you guys a profound amount of credit for not listening to the critics, for choosing to, have your own perception seen from the Worlds Collide Tour and take it for what it was worth. And 95% of you came away from the Worlds Collide Tour who were fans of it, who had a greater appreciation for it when you left the venue that night. And you were so excited for Leg 2 of the Worlds Collide Tour. Within hours of the first premiere of the Worlds Collide Tour, people were posting rumors about Leg 2 happening as early as late 2026. And I would go for late 2026 for the premiere of The Rise of Red again, because in all honesty, I think that late 2026 will set up for something far greater than what we've seen for the Worlds Collide Tour, because there is so much of an immersive experience yet to be seen, and I, for one, am incredibly excited about it. Because of all the reviews that the Worlds Collide Tour just recently received, how Kylie Cantrell was really trying to put herself out there as one of the most revered Descendant stars of all time. Kylie Cantrell has showed so much dedication to the right character. And I give her a profound amount of respect and credit for doing that, because nobody else would have ever been able to bring the right character to life in the way that she did. She really gave it her best performance, and I think that Kylie Contrell's performance level was at an all-time high. So too was the performance level of Freya Sky, because nobody ever expected her performance of Gold's Gone to be as powerful as what it was. And it went down in history from my perspective as one of the greatest performances that we've ever seen on stage for a Disney concert. And allowing Kylie Contrell and Freya Sky to really break character and introduce us to what they were going to be as independent artists was absolutely incredible, because I understand how much of a struggle it is to promote yourself as an independent artist. There's always a constant struggle and the worry of if anyone's ever going to hear your voice, anyone's ever going to see your music video. And Freya Sky and Kylie Contrell have done a fabulous job promoting themselves, using Descendants and Zombies to their advantage to catapult them to superstardom, but they have done a tremendous job promoting their EPs, and I think that this is really going to secure the future as some of the greatest stars of all time. You know, the conversation has always come up about how Freya Sky is going to be the next huge Disney pop star. And when you think about all the pop stars that Disney has created over the years, I think that Freya Sky is well on her way to becoming the next Taylor Swift. That is the best argument that I can present, because I remember Taylor Swift's rapid-fire ascension to the top of the Billboard chart. Now Taylor Swift is worth billions. I don't think that Freya Sky is going to be worth billions, but she's definitely going to be worth up in the millions for how she's promoted herself and how confident she is. I think that it's a constant struggle for people like Demi Lovato, Selena Gomez, and even Miley Cyrus to promote themselves for being as confident as what they are perceived to be. It takes forever for somebody to really break out of a mold. And I think that Freya Sky has really come into her own, and she's definitely going to be put in a category of all on her own, because she is definitely going to be, I agree with what everybody is saying about Freya Sky, and I fully support Freya Sky's decisions and the direction she wants to take her career in, because it's going to be something special. I saw this happen with Ariana Grande years ago, when Ariana Grande gave her first on-stage performance at the American Music Awards years ago, and she was so emotionally overcome. And the same thing happened with Freya Sky at the Worlds Collide Tour. When she broke down during her performance of Gold's Gone, we saw such appreciation coming from her, and I wish we would have seen that same appreciation from everybody who was a part of it. But in particular, I noticed the emotion pouring out of the hearts of Freya Sky and Kylie Contrell more especially, because they were really caught up in the moment. And that's what I wanted to get from this experience. I wanted to see people like Kylie Contrell and Freya Sky really come out on their own and really promote themselves for the way they wanted to be promoted, as opposed to Disney or the record label, because they did a fabulous job representing their characters and representing themselves, because nobody else at the Worlds Collide Tour had anything else to promote outside of the EPs of Kylie Contrell and Freya Sky. They were just there to promote the movie, of course, The Rise of Red. They were there to promote the upcoming Descendants 5 Wicked Wonderland. They were there to promote Zombies 4. But Freya Sky and Kylie Contrell were really just trying to figure out their place in the world. They went into the Worlds Collide Tour trying to figure out their place in the world. And I think for certain that they will figure out their place in the world because of each and every one of you, because you guys contributed the most to the Worlds Collide Tour. You showed up with so much support and so much love for your favorite Descendants of Zombie stars, which I give you a profound amount of credit for, because you could have chosen to listen to these critics on YouTube, but you didn't. You saw the good in my videos before you ever saw the good in anybody else's videos about Descendants of Zombies, because all they were offering you was constructive criticism. And I, for one, can't stand constructive criticism, because it leaves you down a path of false promises and, assumptions about what's going to happen. The reality of it is, I'm just a fan like each and every one of you. So I really don't know what's going to happen with Descendants and Zombies from one moment to the next. What I appreciate are all of your guys' predictions coming together to create a fluxation of all these predictions and thoughts and theories on Descendants and Zombies, because that's what creates diversity. And the world can't exist without diversity. Just think about it like this for a moment. What if everybody was the same and everybody loved Descendants and Zombies? What if 600,000 people on YouTube, everybody loved Descendants and Zombies, and we didn't have people presenting diversity? Some people love Descendants, some people don't like Descendants. So that creates confliction, and that creates diversity. And that's what makes the world spin on its axis. So I think that because everybody is different, that gives us even more reason to support Descendants and Zombies. And the people who do support Descendants and Zombies have proven to be the most loyal fans of the franchise. Let me tell you guys something. If you subscribe to this YouTube channel as opposed to subscribing to some critic's YouTube channel, then you show that you are the most loyal Descendants and Zombies fans in the world, because you trust in these guys' opinions about Descendants and Zombies. I could be just somebody on YouTube uploading an opinion about Descendants and Zombies and never being heard or never being taken serious. But after a year of posting Descendants and Zombies videos consistently on my YouTube channel, I will go down in history of being one of the most revered characters of all time to talk about Descendants and Zombies and your voice of Descendants and Zombies, which I couldn't feel more honored to be. Because I could be talking about video games, TV shows, movies, and not making a whole lot of sense to a whole lot of people. Believe you me, I've done it. But I have never discovered the power of a powerful niche such as Descendants and Zombies that has shown me such profound respect for talking about Descendants and Zombies the way that I have. Perhaps it's in my unique way of being able to tell you stories about my own life that relate to Descendants and Zombies, about how I love Meg Donnelly, how I love Kylie Cantrell, how I can't stand them being the victims of criticism and seeing them cry. Because it really does hurt me when I see tears in Kylie Cantrell's eyes. What I love seeing is Kylie Cantrell on her vlog, spending a day at the gym, getting in shape and getting stronger, because Kylie Cantrell has phenomenal abs and has muscles in most places that people don't have muscles. So that is really incredible. And I think that's what Kylie Cantrell should be focused on the most, is bringing the best out of herself and putting herself out there for the way she wants to be put out there in the face of all these critics. There's no better feeling in the world than standing up against adversity and standing up in the face of all of your critics and really slapping them in the face by saying that I am here, I'm not going anywhere, and I'm staying here for forever, because what means the most to me is every single person that's ever supported me, who's loved me, who has allowed me to be a part of their lives. The Descendants and Zombies fans are what's most important to me. And you guys have offered so much in the way of emotional support, and you have been there for forever for Descendants and Zombies from the very beginning. I, too, was there from the very beginning. So I saw how much of a rapid-fire ascension Descendants had going to the top. Ever before Zombies premiered, years prior to that, we had the original Descendants cast. Everybody loved Dove Cameron. Everybody loved Sophia Carson. Everybody loved these new characters, Mal and Evie, represented, of course, by the evil villains, of course, Maleficent and the Evil Queen. The Evil Queen had no backstory whatsoever, and that just showed how much dedication people like Sophia Carson and Kylie Cantrell had to their characters, because they not only had to bring the characters to life, but they had to find out a way that they could bring the characters to life that was very effective and could be effectively done. And they did it because they were so strong, they didn't care what anybody thought of them, and they took their opinions and they made them count. And now people are feeling more inspired than they ever have by their favorite VK kids, which is something I really, really love about the Descendants franchise. Now next year, in late 2026, we'll see them go overseas. So they'll be a part of something special in Australia and the United Kingdom and in Germany. And the support they will receive over there will be unlike anything they've ever seen in their lives. And I can't wait to be a part of it, because I know what fans are like over in Germany and the United Kingdom. They are unbelievably and undeniably supportive of who and what they love. And because they love Descendants and Zombies and have let their voice be heard, they're getting a second part to this tour, and this second part to this tour is going to be something absolutely incredible that I just can't wait to cover for you guys. And I'm going to be here for every single moment of the Worlds Collide tour. And as I promised you before, I will stand up and take bullets up against all these critics for each and every one of you, because the reality of my life is I'm up against 15 million critics on this YouTube channel, and it really breaks my heart that we have so many critics out there rather than people who would love to review the franchise for what it's worth. I think there's a certain pride that goes with talking about Descendants and Zombies, and that's undeniable. And if people show up on YouTube without that certain pride intact, then their videos are really not going to make sense to a whole lot of people. I, for one, loved everything about Descendants and Zombies, from the powerful script to the music, how everything's made perfect sense to me, and I've just felt so honored to be a part of something so spectacular and so miraculous, because it's changed so many people's perspective on life. So many people are stronger now because of Descendants and Zombies. So many people are the best friends with each other because of Descendants and Zombies, and I feel so honored to be a part of this, and I hope to be a part of this for the foreseeable future, for just a little while longer, because Descendants and Zombies has undeniably had a profound impact on my life. Because as I just said, I was a radio show host ever before I was a YouTuber, and then I eventually moved from radio into YouTube, and I was commentating on a lot of niches that didn't make a whole lot of sense, from video games to TV shows to movies, and then I fell into Descendants and Zombies and discovered how powerful of a niche it was, and how incredibly supportive each and every one of you would eventually become of my videos. And I have each and every one of you to thank for putting me in this position to be the most popular Descendants and Zombies YouTube channel on the internet, because I honestly don't know where I'd be without each and every one of you. 60,000 channel views later, nearly 3,000 subscribers having happened for this YouTube channel. It's an incredible experience, and you all made this happen for me, because I know there are so many critics of Descendants and Zombies on YouTube that don't really need to be criticizing Descendants and Zombies for what they've been thinking really is worth criticizing, because there's more of a positive positive vibe to be presented about Descendants and Zombies than ever before, and I'm just feeling so honored to be a part of it. Because I loved the very first dance number, of course, Rotten to the Core, which was a message of how these villains were going to achieve acceptance no matter what they had to do to achieve it, no matter what anybody thought of them at Oradon Prep. And they went on to achieve something far greater than their parents ever thought when they were presented the opportunity to come from the Isle of the Lost to Oradon and make an impact. And they most certainly did. It became the most revered franchise in the history of Disney Channel since High School Musical, with 17.5 million viewers that night. Now, Descendants had nowhere near 17.5 million viewers. I think it was anywhere between 8.5 and 8.9 million that tuned in on the night of the premiere of Descendants 2. But the thing is, Descendants has come a long way. We are celebrating the 10th anniversary of Descendants, and I think more of a greater review can be presented for Descendants than all this criticism that's been received. The thing is, so many people upload these reaction videos, but where is your commentary? Where is your point of view and perspective being presented about Descendants and Zombies? The answer to that question is it's not. And it really breaks my heart that people can't provide you with more in-depth commentaries and breakdowns of Descendants and Zombies, because they're just doing reaction videos that last anywhere from 5 to 7 minutes. And a 5 to 7 minute long video is not really offering you what you want, unless it's a music video or it's a certain scene that you remember that you became so emotional over from being a fan of Descendants. Everybody has a reason for being a fan of Descendants, no matter if it was because you idolized Dove Cameron, you idolized Kylie Cantrell, you loved the music. Whatever your reason was for being a fan of Descendants and Zombies, I want you to know that I supported you. And I've always been here for each and every one of you. I've been here for you from the very beginning, for whatever your reason was for why you supported Descendants and Zombies. Because while people have tried to close the book on them ever writing a new chapter for Descendants and Zombies, I, for one, have been incredibly excited to see the next chapter and how it's going to unfold. Because there's so much of a plot that we have yet to witness. So many exciting things that we have yet to be a part of. And I, for one, am incredibly excited about the future, and I'm really excited about more commentaries coming your way on this YouTube channel. So if you have not subscribed to this YouTube channel, I think you're probably going to want to go out of your way to do that, because there's something here on this YouTube channel for everybody who's ever said they were a fan of Descendants and Zombies. I couldn't be more proud to be your voice of Descendants and Zombies, because you could have designated that on any other commentator on YouTube, if there are even any other commentators out there that talk about Descendants and Zombies, because pretty much the commentaries that you're receiving about Descendants and Zombies and seeing on YouTube are just interviewers that are interviewing the stars. And when people upload videos about Descendants and Zombies, it's just reaction videos that really make no sense. For the life of me, I will never understand why people can't understand and decipher what a daywalker and a nightwalker is. Duh, a nightwalker is a vampire that exists in the nighttime, and a daywalker is a vampire that simply exists in the daytime. There are so many different ways people have tried to perceive Descendants and Zombies, but I think the most powerful way of really putting it out there is that a dream is a wish that only your heart can make. And as long as you trust in that dream, and you trust in your heart being your best friend, the possibilities are really endless, and the sky really is the limit. And I know that sounds really cliche, but everybody out there, no matter who you are, has a dream. And I really don't care who you are. I don't have to know you to know that you're a great person. Because I know great people are watching these videos. Great people watch these videos every single day. People that I would just love to be in the presence of. And I really don't care who you are. Everybody has a dream, and everybody's dream can become a reality and can happen for them. And that's something I've forever and always wanted you to hold on to. Because as long as you hold on to that dream, the possibilities are endless. And that's what Descendants 5 Wicked Wonderland is making us excited to be a part of, is something special. Because this is going to be history that we are all going to be a part of, and something I am incredibly excited to provide you commentary on for the foreseeable future. Being your voice of Descendants and Zombies has been the greatest honor of my life. Watching Kylie Control's vlogs on our YouTube channel about her fitness routine and working out and rehearsing for Descendants 5 Wicked Wonderland and the Worlds Collide Tour. It's been the honor of my life being here for each and every one of you, and I can only hope that somebody is going to hit my subscribe button, because she too loves Descendants and Zombies just as much, because she too sees the value in these videos, which I know she does. And I am incredibly proud to be here for that person that will hit the subscribe button, because the people who do hit my subscribe button are the most loyal Descendants and Zombies fans that I can forever and always depend on, and trust in that will forever and always be here, because the first 150 subscribers that I put up on this YouTube channel over a year ago on August 5th, 2024 are still here. And it's been the greatest honor of my life to be able to provide you with unique commentaries that are far different from any other commentary or anybody else's perspective on Descendants and Zombies. I will try to have at least one more video uploaded between now and sunset this evening, and I invite you to join me for that, because I've got a lot to say about Descendants and Zombies for the foreseeable future, and I would love for you to be a part of this incredible journey that you girls have had me on for what feels like forever, because talking about Descendants and Zombies and profiling it and discussing the future of the franchises has really been the greatest honor of my life and an experience that I know I will never, ever forget. So if you got a moment, please hit my like and subscribe buttons. I would love for you to be a part of this YouTube channel. You're more than welcome to subscribe here and trust in these videos ever before you trust in a video uploaded by a critic, because that's all it really is constructive criticism. But believe you me, for those of you who may believe that you can't expect consequences after altering the fabric of time, you should probably rethink yourself, and you should always remember that, of course, this is really what life is about now. Descendants and Zombies. Descendants and Zombies is forever and always held a special place in our hearts, and it deserves the respect from not only you guys, but also the critics out there that are constantly reviewing Descendants and Zombies who really have no business doing so. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to upload this video. Hopefully somebody's going to hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, and support these videos. I will be back later on tonight with another final video on Descendants and Zombies for you guys, at least one more to go. Thank you guys so much for watching. Be kind to one another, because kindness really does go a long way in this world, and we will talk in just a few hours from now. Stay calm and zombie on, everyone.